Hello everyone, thank you for visiting my video again. I'm Justin, as you all know, and I have a special guest here with me today. Nicole, say hello to everybody.
Hi.
So Nicole, you and I have been Twitter followers for a while, but it was nice to finally meet in Boston and hang out so much and talk so much skating. You really made my time special there. I just wanted to let you know that on video.
Aw, thank you. I had
Yeah.
so much fun with you, like the swings and that little public marketplace that we went to that had the like chocolate scone type things.
Yeah. Getting lost with the T, is that what it's called? The public
Tea.
transportation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really fun. And it was unfortunate that we didn't get to sit by each other for actual skating.
I know, I
So
know.
we get
And
to
we
have
went to the
our,
hotel.
yeah, so we get to have our like full-on skating conversation in this recap video. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I think you're really knowledgeable about dance, and that's usually something that's missing from a lot of my videos, especially the ones that I do by myself. So I want to get right into it. Let's start there first.
Okay.
So let's talk about the winners, Papadakis and Cizeron, which, by the way, I just got done rewatching their video on YouTube and
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away. They were, in my opinion, the clear winners. Not sure about breaking the world record because Meryl and Charlie are pretty awesome. But what is
Yeah.
your take on their performances?
Okay. Well, Papadakis and Scissor, even seeing them live, like to me, they are clearly like above and beyond the rest of the field when I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching them live. They have such a command over the ice and such a presence that just they kind of just blow everyone else away. It's like sometimes when you'll watch a warm up group, you'll see that one couple or that one person who just is like, oh, they're going to be like way higher in the standings. You can tell just by looking at them. And to me, that's Papadakis and Cizeron. Like I can just watch them and I see that they are world champions. They carry themselves in that way. I think that their skating skills are really incredible, and I think that I mean everyone goes on and on about how good Guillaume Cizeron is, um, and he really is. I mean, just the way that he moves his body and his edges. I mean, he's really that fantastic. But I think that Gabriella Papadakis is a really great ice dancer as well, and I thought that their free dance was oh my God, spectacular. Just,
Yeah, I can't
yeah.
find enough words to describe how good that is. It's like moving, powerful yet light. And you bring up
Hmm.
a good point. I find myself watching Cizeron, even though I think they're both great
Yeah.
skaters.
And that kick in the free dance towards the end when they kick back and then they go into the rotational lift. It's my favorite moment of the
Mm.
entire program, and I rewind that part like 50
So
times.
I don't know the correct term, but it was one of their first elements. Is it like a lift spin?
I think it's
Let
called
us
the
know.
stationary lift, I want to say.
I really like that a lot in the beginning.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm
Okay,
sure it's a stationary lift.
sounds good. Now,
Yeah.
you were telling me in person that you had a good idea they were going to win based on their placement in the short dance. Do you want to go
Yeah.
into that a little more?
Okay, well, Papadakis and Cizeron usually place um, lower after the short dance. I haven't seen them so much this season, but I'm pretty sure Europeans too. They usually place lower after the short dance. And when they placed first here, that to me, the judges are going, they're going to win here. And I didn't even really consider the Shibutanis after that because the fact that they were first, I mean, that just said so much to me
Hmm.
because that never happens with them.
That's
So
right. Speaking of the Shibutanis, did you think they had a chance at the gold medal here in Boston this year?
going in, I think that they definitely had a shot at it.
Hmm.
But once those scores came up for Papadakis and Cizeron in the short, I really thought that there was no way that it was going to happen. Um, and I like their free dance a lot, but I do think that Papadakis and Cizeron are clearly the better team. Um, as great as the Shibutanis are, they have such solid technique. Um, they have wonderful twizzles. They have so many great qualities, but I think that Papadakis and Cizeron, at the end of the day, when you're looking at the skating skills, when you're looking at um, just the quality of it, I think that they are the clear winners.
All right. And how would you compare them to Meryl and Charlie or Tessa and Scott, who just announced that they'll be coming back next season?
Papadakis and Cizeron, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, that's such an interesting question, really.
And I ask that because I'm curious as a
Mhm.
non-ice dance
Yeah.
follower.
I think that Tessa and Scott are a better team together. I think that Guillaume Cizeron is like the greatest male ice dancer ever. I think he is just that cream of the crop, above and beyond. Um, how they're going, I can really. That's such a tough one.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
Really,
I get
it's a
that.
loaded question. I don't know.
We could get back to that later if it's
Okay.
too difficult.
No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. It's not too difficult. Really, I think that the scoring is what's going to be interesting with them because Tessa and Scott are Olympic champions. But as I was talking to my friend Lauren, she was like, "But they're not current Olympic champions. So how much is that worth in dance, which is so political already?"
That's right.
Um, what's going to happen there? But I do think that Tessa and Scott are a better team together than Papadakis and Cizeron are, even though Papadakis and Cizeron are so absolutely fantastic. But if like Papadakis and Cizeron win Worlds next year, it's not something where I'm going to be, I don't think, too upset by. Like I can totally see that. It's comparing like great to great. Like you can't really, it's going to be hard to, I guess, parse out the differences.
It almost sounds like it's going to come down just to politics because they're both such great teams.
Yeah, and it's also going to come down to, I think, the Twizzles a lot because we know that in Tessa and Scott's, I guess, final few years before they stopped right after Sochi, they were having Twizzle issues.
Oh boy.
Yeah, pretty much every competition. They were fine at the Olympics. Well, in the team event, they had some issues, but in the individual event, they were pretty good with the Twizzles. I'm hoping that Marie France can work those issues out because I am going to be a very frustrated Tessa and Scott fan if they come back and their Twizzles are a mess every competition.
No, I hope they're great.
I know.
Okay, so the Shibutanis, I had a lot of people saying that they thought they had a great chance of having the moment here in Boston and taking the gold and making history. And I felt like I was the odd one out saying, I know they're great. I know their free dance is amazing. I just don't see it at Worlds for some reason. And I was actually right. I actually predicted the podium the exact way that it happened. Now, the Shibutanis had the moment laid out for them, skating last in the free dance. I thought that they skated that free dance a little careful and tentative. It was still great. You know, Twizzle's amazing at the right point. Crowd still lost it. It wasn't the same kind of emotional connection as I felt they had at Nationals.
Yeah, I really got that too. Is that your favorite free dance of the year, or what's your favorite free dance of the year?
Everyone's gonna laugh at me for mine. Um, I will say I think that's the best free dance performance ever, especially their free dance at nationals. I have a soft spot for Madison Chock and Evan Bates free dance. Again, I can say this: I'm not an ice dance follower. I'm drawn to that one.
Really?
But yeah, let's talk
Okay.
about the Shibutanis. Your take on their free dance?
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to know like which
Oh
one
no,
yours
it's
was
okay.
because
Yeah.
everyone was talking about the Shibutanis. Um, I think that the free dance here was played safe. You could definitely see that. It took a while to grow on me, the Fix You, because at first I was like, okay, this is kind of a. It's not a bad number. I think it's their best free dance ever, but it didn't seem very original to me, the idea
Okay,
or something. Does that make sense?
it does.
Um, I thought it's great. I mean, it's still something that I'll go back and watch on YouTube a lot, but I didn't think that it was as like, oh wow, this is such a brand new idea as something like the French had.
hmm
But I did love the Shibutani's free dance nationals.
hmm
Not the one here, the national performance of it. They had more abandon there than they did here. It felt a lot tighter here.
Cool. Do you think they were intimidated or tensed up after hearing the world record score from the French beforehand?
Hmm. I mean, they might have been, but I don't think
hmm
that would have
Okay.
affected them so much. There's something about them as skaters that they go out every time and they are so clean that I don't think that it would have worried them that, oh, we have to really worry about like making sure that our twizzles are in sync and everything after that because they just generally are
hmm
so clean that I don't think that that part of it would have worried them. If anything, I think that should have pushed them to like have more abandon in their skating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
good point. And I want to talk about the Shibutanis and kind of where their career takes off from being world silver medalists. I've heard a lot of rumblings from other people saying that this is kind of their peak moment and that they expect to not stay in such of a high standing for next season. Do you agree
Hmm.
with that?
I absolutely agree with
Mm-hmm.
that. Tessa and Scott are coming back. That's the thing, is they're coming back, and it's going to be between them and Papadakis and Cizeron, as far as I see it right now at this moment in time. It's those two for the gold. So one's gold, one's silver. I think that the Shibutanis will probably be third next year at Worlds,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that everything works out. I could see a bronze medal finish for them, but this was really their moment. It was in Boston. It was the Fix You program that everybody loved. Tessa and Scott weren't here. I mean, this was where the stars would have had to align, and I don't know if it's going to happen after this.
Yeah,
What about you?
I see it. I don't want to take away their special moment in Boston because it was
Mm-hmm.
great and it's a huge accomplishment to win silver, right? Because it was their
Yeah,
first time on the world podium since, is it 2009? Is that what I've
11.
been hearing? 11? Okay.
11.
So that's a big accomplishment for them. Another big accomplishment is winning over their US teammates, Madison and Evan, on in an international event. So I think that's huge for
Yeah.
them. I think they can still be in the fight for the conversation for gold, silver at major events next season, but they have their work cut out for them. The one thing I do want to say is that I've actually become a fan of the Shibutanis this season, watching their
Mm-hmm.
free dance over and over and over because it's so
Yeah.
good. But I have to say, what stands out for me is kind of the way they carry themselves, and it's not their fault. Before, I didn't know if it was just because I've seen them skate since they were so little or that they're a brother sister team, but something about their stance or presence on the ice is not as regal as it should be, in my opinion, to be gold
Mm-hmm.
medalists.
There's something about it that's a little almost too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like like their posture is wonderful and they have solid enough edges and their dance holds are great, but it's like it's a little almost too much, and I want more like freedom to come from the actual performance.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully we could see that in their programs next season as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I really want them to push in this direction and not go back to like, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of that program.
I know, you've mentioned.
So let's move on to the bronze medalists here. I'm so glad that we got two U.S. teams on the podium. What is your take on Maddie and Evan here?
I thought they were fine.
Hmm.
I'm not a big Madison Chock fan, as you know. I think she's like her Instagram is wonderful, and I think
Yeah.
she's a really sweet person and she's gorgeous. But I was really taken aback by just how flat her edges were in
Hmm.
person. Watching her on practice and even just watching her in the short dance, I had a really good vantage point of the first part of the Ravensburger waltz.
Hmm.
And there wasn't a lot of deep edges on there. And that's something that like I'm a really picky about, especially in dance, is I want your edges to be really, really deep and crisp and like getting into the ice. And I don't really see that with Madison and Evan. Um, they're a fine team. Like I don't think that they're terrible by any means, but I wasn't blown away by them, and I probably would have had Weaver and Poge third
Hmm.
after everything was over with.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Weaver and Poge kind of off the podium. But was it
I saw
because
that happening.
Andrew's mistakes, right?
No, to me that was for continents.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, they messed up so badly there that it was just not going to happen
Hmm.
here. But yeah, I would have had them third. I think Weaver and Poge.
Good to know. And what you said about Madison Chalk, I agree with her edges. So I love looking at her,
Yeah,
but I do love looking at her
waist
like from
up.
like I wouldn't say the knees up, but when you
Mhm.
focus on like the legs and the edges, I'm like, should they be deeper and more
I
shallow?
know.
Yeah. So I noticed that as
Yeah.
well. Any other dance teams you wanted to mention?
Uh, Anna Capellini in person is really stunning.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, she's gorgeous in person. Oh, Hubble and Donahue's short. I loved that short dance
Hmm.
so much. The Hallelujah,
So sorry,
that
Nicole,
must have
your
sucked.
internet connection kind of went
Oh.
sour. What did you say about Madison Hubble again?
Mhm. Oh, I said I'm still really sad that she changed over to the tan skates. Like
Okay,
that still
that's what I
really
thought you
bugs
said.
me. And then I said, and I still feel bad for them that the announcer called Stepanova and Buchan when they actually meant Hubble and Donahue as they were on the ice. Like, where did they get that announcer from? I mean, really.
I don't know. The announcing was not great in Boston this year.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Didn't they switch like halfway through to a guy? I want to
I think
say.
so. Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
hearing a lady and a man. It just wasn't good overall. All right, so are
really.
we ready to move on to the ladies? My favorite discipline?
Oh, I definitely am.
All
Because
right,
this was really where it was at here.
why don't you take it off? Let us know what you think of Evgenia Medvedeva of Russia taking the title.
um, I could see her winning. I
Hmm.
think she was massively overscored. Like,
For sure.
massively overscored.
Didn't she break Yuna Kim's record? Was it for
She
the
did.
long program or overall?
I want to say it was it both?
It could have been both, yeah. And
I
either
know
way,
it
I
was
don't agree
overall.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Unikim in Vancouver, that was kind of a moment, and
Hmm.
I don't see it here. I think that she was very overscored.
Me too. So you
Yes.
saw her winning the competition then. I predicted she would win.
Yeah, but I did think that for some reason, watching Satoko Miyahara on practice, I thought that she had a chance because she was so clean. She was just killing it on the practice sessions that I thought that they might give it to her. And oh man, was I wrong about that?
Whoopsies. Yeah, I don't think Satoko was given any breaks
Yeah,
last
no,
week in Boston. Mm-mm.
no. The fact that Pogorilaya, who has been falling all season, was given higher PCS than Satoko, who had a clean season, like start to finish.
Hmm.
How did that happen? Like, why do the judges hate Satoko so much?
I will have to say, so seeing her in person, so we're kind of moving on to Satoko a little bit. Seeing her
Hmm.
in person, I thought you could really like feel her musicality on the ice much better than on a computer screen. I was like, wow,
Gorgeous.
this girl is an artist. She can like sell her programs. I will say in person, she surprisingly looked really tiny as well. Her jumps were not huge.
That much off the ice.
Yeah, but they're clean. A lot of times they're clean. So
Mhm.
I'm wondering if the judges are just not rewarding her for not doing a triple triple in the long program, or because they don't like that she's like tall and statuesque on the ice. But Satoko was not happy with her scores, and I don't think a lot of skating fans are as well.
No,
Mm.
everyone in my section was really, really upset at Satoko's scores, and I too. I mean, top three after the short, and I would have had her top three after the long. I think
Mm-hmm.
as well.
For sure.
I mean,
And in the short program,
no,
wasn't she given an under rotation on the triple toe of the combination, and then like an unclear edge call on the Lutz?
the edge call on the Lutz I can definitely see. I
Hmm.
was not sure about the triple triple though. I would have had to go back and like
I
watch that
thought it
pretty.
looked clean. I've seen it a few times, so I thought that was really being nitpicky.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think that she's just so gorgeous though. Like her musicality is just above and beyond the rest of the field. Even Ashley, I would have given Satoko probably higher PCS
Oh yeah.
maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's just that good. And oh my god, in the short when she does the like arm all the way around.
That's short. I like her short better than her long.
So do I.
Hmm.
To me, her long was better last year when it was the Miss Saigon and it was the Stefan Lambiel choreography, and it just all worked for me in a way that this one was a little bit more muted, and I didn't like it as much. It's still gorgeous,
Hmm.
but I liked last year's better.
Yeah. Now the question is, what does Satoko do from here? Because she kind of looked upset in the kiss and cry after both programs. I mean, where does she go from here? Try to fix her jumping technique so that she flies up, which I can imagine being a super difficult thing to do. Maybe a different choreographer, like different music choices, but she already does great skating, which is tough.
Yeah. Maybe she just needs more like politicking behind her and she needs like a coach that can bring that to her because I don't really know. When you have a completely clean season, did she make a mistake all season?
She was pretty consistent all the season.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I can't remember like a fall or a step out or anything like.
That was last season at Four Continents when she let Polina Edmonds win. This year she won Four
Did
Continents.
she let her win?
Yeah, she won Japanese nationals over Mao. The only
Hmm.
thing that Satoko gets dinged with is
The under
under
rotation.
rotation calls, and even that is sometimes questionable.
Yeah. So I I can't really understand why they're not liking her because generally when you're that consistent, your components are going to rise and
Mm,
the judges are going to like you more. And yet we haven't really seen that from her. And she's a world silver medalist, and that doesn't even really bring her any like cachet. And I don't understand. I don't know. It's such a unique situation.
Yeah, and she's clearly the leading Japanese. I think she's the leading Japanese lady.
As much as
Until
I love
Mao
Mao.
gets her, technique back. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
the judge. I'm not sure if there's heavy politicking behind Russia to
Hmm.
let these 15-year-olds, skate to Titanic and call that artistry. Um, but it's
God
unfortunate.
bless. Yeah.
Yeah, but moral of the story is that we love Satoko. Don't give up. She's only like 18 years old, so she has a good future ahead of herself if she could stick it
She's
out.
18.
Yeah, she's not that old. Yeah.
I thought she was like 16.
Oh, really? Oh, no. I'm pretty sure
Well,
she's
she
18.
looks so tiny.
Yeah.
It's kind of. She's such a nitty
Maybe she could grow a little bit. Who knows? She's got
bitty,
time.
but
All right, so now
yeah,
let's
right.
shift the focus back over to Ashley Wagner. Ended the 10-year drought for the US ladies being on the podium at Worlds. Wow, we lost it, Nicole. We
Completely.
witnessed history in person. It was a sold out crowd. I went crazy. I lost my voice at the back Charlotte. Oh.
Oh my God. After the last like Lutz, I was standing and I was just flipping out.
Hmm.
Like, I think I was the only one in my section by that point that was standing, but I was completely losing it. To
Hmm.
me, it was the moment of worlds. Like,
Definitely, definitely. So let's start with the short program because I think that's one of the highlights for Ashley at Worlds is doing a clean short and man, having a personal best.
she should have been higher after the short. That's what
Yeah.
I, that's my like thoughts on it. The fact that
Mm.
she was fourth, I don't
She was barely fourth though because it was like a three-way tie
know.
for second
I mean,
place.
I don't think that's two.
Hmm.
They were pushing Pogorilaya hard here.
Yeah, and you
Like,
and I were talking about this. Had Evgenia been in first after the short when Anna skated, maybe Anna would not have been overscored because it's tough for, I don't know, it's tough to place a lady in the top three without doing any of your jumps in the bonus and have that much of a PCS bump from the
hmm
rest of your season.
yeah, I don't know. I just felt like they really were pushing Anna too hardcore here, especially
Hmm.
considering the season that she's had. I
Hmm.
was very shocked to see how hardcore they were pushing
Hmm. And don't get me
Anna
wrong, I
here.
actually really like Anna. It was like
Yeah.
refreshing to see her bring it together. I just didn't understand the scores all of a sudden,
Hmm.
because it's not, I'm pretty sure she would not have gotten those scores if she did that at her like first Grand Prix clean.
I mean, even Europeans,
Hmm.
like, she was a mess there. Somehow she was able to pull it together. I don't know. Like, props to her for doing that at Worlds at the big moment of the season. But I don't really trust those scores
Hmm.
at all. And I would have
Yeah,
had Ashley um, top three after the short.
for sure. The good thing about Ashley not making the top three in the short is that she got to skip the presser, which I thought that was cool. You know, go back to your
Yeah.
hotel, regain your focus. But the triple
Hmm.
triple cleaned. I thought the performance was there too. Maybe a little bit more of a performance over Gracie, or she should have been closer to Gracie, but whatever. I'm just happy that she delivered it. A little slow in person. Everyone knows I love my girl
That
Ashley. I didn't
footwork.
realize she's not a fast skater in person, and for some reason, weird reason, she comes off faster on video. Like I'm noticing that in the short
That's
and
what
the
I was
free.
getting to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that the footwork in the short, especially towards the end of it, like it's very near where I was sitting, the end of
Mm-hmm.
that footwork, and she was moving very, very, very slowly. I was like ready to scream, push, like, come on, sell it. But
For
um,
sure.
yeah, she was slow towards the end, but I was still so over the moon thrilled that she was
Hmm.
able to do it.
I
Like both
mean,
Americans were able to do clean shorts
yeah,
at Worlds.
Mariah
Like
even did
how did
really
that
well
happen?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So for the long program for Ashley, even though she won the silver medal, she was not perfect technically. So she got called her triple toe at the triple flip toe combination got called under rotated, which I don't agree with. I kept watching the replays,
Yeah.
whatever, and then I could see was it the flip that she did a like step out on towards the end of that long program? That was under
Yeah,
rotated for sure.
definitely.
And then was it unclear edge call on the Lutz, which I could see.
That Lutz is always an
Yeah,
unclear
yeah. When
call,
is that ever
really. I
totally
mean,
clean?
that
But
never changes.
yeah. But the big highlight, I think, from looking at the protocols, technically, is the triple loop, half loop, triple Salchow called clean the first time all season.
I
Woohoo!
know. And then the flip toe wasn't. Like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? And it was in the short.
Yeah,
And
that was
most
so odd.
people thought that Ashley's loop Salchow combination was clean at the Grand Prix final, but the Salchow was called under there. So now it looks clean to people, and it was called clean, so that was a big achievement. And then if you look at
Mhm.
her protocols, whew, low nines across the board. She even got a few tens in the program component marks, which I think it was awesome.
Pretty big bump from the short to the long,
Mm-hmm.
really. And even from Skate Canada, I was like comparing the two,
Mm-hmm.
and because I did my homework, and she
Yay!
was getting all eights at Skate Canada, I think in both programs, and here she was getting nines. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that carries over into next season.
I was gonna say,
We'll
I was
see.
telling
But
people I hope Ashley continues. I think she should, and next season, and hopefully she gets a world silver medalist bump in PCS because it's taken a while for Ashley to get that from the judges.
yeah, I would say that she would, but then to me, I keep thinking of Satoko. That
Mm-hmm.
didn't really happen for her, and
Mm-hmm.
she was world silver medalist last year.
But because the judges were willing to reward Ashley here, I have a little more
Mhm.
faith.
Yeah.
In her next season. Let's see what else about Ashley. Oh, one point I wanted to make, I like made a note to myself, is that it was good to see a lady on the podium despite not having the best technical score because remember this the big debate with skating, artistry versus, technical. And I'm sorry, these young Russians don't do it for me to get nines in artistry.
No.
Ashley does, especially how she skated in Boston. So it was good to see that she could be propelled to the podium with,
Mm,
some errors technically.
yeah. What was I going to say about Ashley? I think that overall, the Moulin Rouge program, I think that Nationals 2015, that is still the best she ever skated it.
Oh, absolutely. I wish
Yeah.
that was at Worlds instead of
hmm
Nationals. Yeah.
But I think that this is the one that I'm going to go back and rewatch more than that Nationals just
Mm-hmm.
because of what it meant. And it was such a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and speaking and thinking back to what you said about the Russians really do Medvedeva, is that how
Mm-hmm.
you say her last name? Medvedeva. There's something about her choreography that's so like abstract and weird with the like at the beginning of her program.
Or the
Do you know
covering
which
the
one I'm talking
ears.
about?
I don't get that
And the cover,
either.
I don't understand it. It's like, does she have the same choreographer as Sotnikova?
Probably. I'm not sure.
It looks very, very, very similar to what Adelina did at the Olympics, is what I got from that. But um, yeah, even when she does uh, the Sasha turn with like the foot over her head, it's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like bent down and it's not really perfect. And I kind of just want to like nitpick at it, and I want, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Ashley is better overall just in that area alone,
Mm-hmm.
like just the little details. I think
Definitely.
that Ashley's better at.
All right. So moving on to the bronze medalist here, fellow Russian surprise, podium placer, Anna Pogorilaya. I even think I like her choreography a little better than Evgenia's, to be honest. I actually prefer her as a skater when she's clean. I think she's taller. She has nicer lines, more control of her edges. If there was a Russian to be overscored or to be like pushed to the top, I think aesthetically I would prefer Anna over Evgenia. Unfortunately, that's not how it's working right now. But it was a pleasant surprise, kind of, to see her, winning
Not bomb.
bronze. Yeah, and not
Yeah.
bomb. I think some people were
Yeah.
expecting to see her have one of her, catastrophic falls, which didn't happen. Maybe thankfully in her case. Uh,
Thankfully, yeah.
yeah.
She's
Oh,
stunning.
she
Like
is.
her face. I ended up getting a picture with her like after the medal ceremony.
Oh,
Did I tell you
cool.
that?
No.
Yeah. No. It was right after like they called Ashley away right as I was about to get a picture with her, and I'm still bitter.
Ugh,
But
I would be too.
yeah, Anna came over and took pictures, which I thought was really sweet. But she's stunning, like really stunning, and that's like what I think about when I think of Anna Pogorilaya. Is that girl's gorgeous?
I think she looks like a model. She
She
could be.
does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's really tall. Like you can see that as she's skating. I want her to like have better like posture more,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, she's and the programs don't really do it as much for me. I think it's too soon to use Scheherazade
Mm.
ever again. But after Marilyn Charlie, and then I always think about Carolina's disaster program to Scheherazade
Oh,
that she had.
right.
That's what I thought about when she was out there was that Carolina
Oh
program.
no.
And it's the program to think about. I was thinking of it. So
Yeah. Let's see here. Where would you have placed Anna after seeing everyone skate? Because Satoko was third in the long, just not overall.
where would I have placed her in the long or overall?
Either or. Overall, did you think she was
Okay, so
worthy of the bronze medal?
no, I would have
Hmm.
had Satoko third.
Yeah.
And I would have had probably, I guess, Gracie fourth or fifth, and then Anna, like you could switch the two,
Hmm.
whichever one.
Hmm.
But I would have had Satoko third overall.
Okay, so let's channel
Just that
over
piece, yes.
to, yeah, Gracie Gold placing fourth, and actually a very disappointing fourth because she's been fourth before at Worlds. Uh, a big lead, in my opinion, a big lead after the short program, and boom, lost it in the long. It was done when she fell on the triple toe of her let's toe combination.
Now, was that considered a fall? Because from my vantage point, it was like
You know what?
almost
I thought about
butt
that
to
too, but in the protocols, it was
the ice,
considered a
but
fall.
not. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, because to me it looked like Sasha Cohen's 2002 like Olympic free skate where she kind of did the same thing, and
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was considered a fall, but yeah, after that I kind of screamed no at the top of my lungs in the arena. I screamed really loudly, but they really wanted to give it to her. I think.
Oh, for sure. She had to
I
bring
think
it
she would have
though.
broken.
It's not going to be handed to
Yeah.
her. She did not sell that choreography or that footwork at all. Eyes were down,
Hmm.
not even selling the moves. And when she doesn't sell the Firebird choreography, it looks silly to me. So I was in the stands like, what is she doing? This does not look good.
She looks lost.
Props to her for continuing doing all the jumps. But then the pop at the end of the program, I think
Yeah,
that did her.
that killed it. I think that even with the one mistake, I think that they still might have given it to her.
Oh, for sure.
Like maybe there was a chance that they could have, but after that second mistake, it was just like there was no way they were going to do it.
Hmm.
Not when Medvedeva was getting the scores that she did. There was no way.
Yeah, I think they were ready to give Gracie Gold the world record over
Yeah, that's what I was
Evgenia
saying.
had she delivered. Yeah. And
Hmm.
you know what? Gracie Gold was third after she skated. So the judges still did her some favors in case Ashley had a meltdown.
Hmm.
But I'm glad Ashley could take the credit for ending the drought over Gracie.
So am I.
Hmm.
And I don't hate Gracie like a lot of people do. I
Mm-mm-mm.
really like Gracie.
Hmm.
I think she has some great qualities. Like her air position, I think is really, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Excellent.
Yeah.
She has a great air position, like unlike Megan Duhamel. But, and I love Megan and Eric, okay?
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I love it when she's
I
like
think
straight in
Gracie,
the air.
yeah, she has really good jumps when she's on and they're clean. She has great jumps. Um, the short, I think, was pretty spectacular for Gracie, though, considering this season.
Hmm.
How it's been pretty down.
Yeah.
And that Louis Vuitton dress is still like one of my favorite dresses.
You said Louis Vuitton. I think it's Louis
Lu-
Vuitton.
Oh, I messed up.
Yeah, it's
That's how I
okay.
said it, and Gracie didn't. when I met Gracie, she was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, really? Not a lot of people get that." And I was like, "Really? Who wouldn't get that?" And I want to say it was like Brendan Carey who was next to her, and he raised his hand, and like, I didn't get it. Like,
Oh, I got it because she said that in an Ice Network interview.
hmm
And then the other thing I want to say about Gracie is that she just needs to put it together. I still think that next season the judges want to give it to her. The judges are not ready to give up on Gracie, as they probably would be on other skaters.
no, yeah,
She needs to bring it, and there's so much potential in her. And here's the thing: not only does she have the great techniques in jumps, and you said you love her line and air position, also when her air position is off, she's one of the best American ladies that can fix the landing. Because I think when
hmm
Ashley is off in the air, the landing's out. But Gracie, there's
hmm
hope.
there
So,
is.
I don't know where she picks up from here for next season. If you all read some of the quotes she gave after her performance in Boston, she is clearly not happy, with how she
Yeah.
skated. It sounds like she's ashamed and embarrassed. And I think she's being a tad hard on herself.
And I don't think it was that bad. I mean,
Mm-mm.
we've seen some Gracie like
Four continents, fourth at four continents is pretty embarrassing.
that was worse than this. This,
Yeah.
I think, was actually like a big step up from
Mm-hmm.
that. But the one thing I want to say about Gracie is that something that really bugs me with her is that she's very like straight the entire lot of like differences of plane. It's just very like no knee bend as much. She has a
Mm-hmm.
slightly stiffer knee. I want to see her like lunge more, and I want to see her like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's just very like straight up and down, and that kind of gets a little bit boring after a bit.
Maybe even like
With
lose control a little bit more.
she's
Hmm.
very controlled
Hmm.
um, as a skater.
That being said, she has come a long way from you
Princess.
know, yeah, straight arms
Mhm.
up and down. Yeah.
Yeah. Just her body in general, though. Like, I want to see her, like, go down a bit, like, into the ice more.
Do you think different choreography could fix that?
Yeah, but I don't think that'll ever happen. I
Yeah,
think she's going
no.
to stay with Frank. And so that means
And
she'll stay
Lori
with
Nicole,
Lori.
for
hmm
sure. Okay. So, do we need to mention anything else about Satoko, who finished fifth? We've already said so much about her. Everyone watching this video can see how much of a fan favorite she kind of is because her name just pops up every time we talk
hmm
about the different like medals because oh, Satoko should have been on the podium. At least she got a small medal. And that video, like a fan took a video of that small medal ceremony for the long program.
Yeah. The one thing that I always think about with Satoko is when you and I were at dinner and you said, robbed is the word that I would use for her. And that's what I always think about, is
Yeah,
that.
and then I think I even told you too is that I try not to use that word. I'm not a very dramatic
hmm
person, but if I were to use the word, and I think I have before, I would say Satoko's robbed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot.
For
So,
sure. All right, so
Titanic
sixth place. You know what? So Elena is reigning world's bronze medalist. Is that correct?
last year, yeah.
Yeah, she did not look like that. I was very unimpressed seeing her in person. I thought she was cute when she was younger. Now that she's older and taller, she's not getting away with the stuff that isn't perfect about her skating.
Mm-mm.
The Titanic long program, I don't even love her short program either, but the Titanic long, what's with the new dress? Don't like.
No.
Skating, I will say I like that she grits her jumps. Under rotations aren't always the key. GOE though is another story. The landings of those jumps are so wobbly and step outs they're
hmm
not clean at all and they're not beautiful to watch by any
Yeah.
means.
Well, now that she stopped ripping off Quan in her long program with the music, and she went to this program, I can appreciate how bad it is in like a fun way. Like I spent that entire long program just laughing at the voiceovers and the "I'll never let go, Jack." Like, come on,
By the way,
come
those
on,
voiceovers are worse in person.
they really are,
If y'all thought
and
they
it
were
was
bad
just
on
so
video,
funny.
ugh, in
Oh my
person,
god.
yeah.
I just every time like the voice would come on the loudspeakers, I would laugh like really hard. Even thinking about it, like it's starting to make me like
Ugh. And even like with that program being what it is and how she skated, I still think her PCS was inflated. I don't think she's deserving of,
ridiculous.
mid eights. I'm looking at the protocols now, like
What
8.5
was
for
she getting?
skating
Skating
skills.
skills?
Yeah, 8.5.
I'd have like in the fives.
Oh, fives? Oh, I'd say seven is generous. 7.5.
Yeah, really generous.
Yeah. Oh, at
I
least she
think.
was fifth in the program. I don't think that Elena is gonna be propped up for much of
Mhm.
her remaining career if changes aren't made to kind of like the core skating skills.
Yeah, she has very bad posture. Um, she skates pretty hunched and
And I
like
think that's gotten worse as she's gotten taller.
it has.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see her like stretch her limbs out. She has very long arms, very Paulina-esque in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I want her to see her like really Carolina Costner them and like extend them out like to the fingertips.
And she has the
And
potential to come off that way. Like I can actually picture Elena like extending her limbs out.
but I don't see her ever trying.
No, no. Keyword
No,
trying, yeah.
especially with the marks that she's currently getting
Yeah,
still.
and I think she should seek professional advice on what her programs should be. Just looking at her history, Titanic, J Lo, copying Michelle Kwan, some other things.
Unforgivable.
Yeah, maybe she should like skate to like a soundtrack from a Russian drama. I don't know. That would make a little more sense to me.
I will like Elena a lot more when she decides to get rid of the flesh colored gloves because
Oh,
I can't do that at all. It's one of my big skating pet peeves is if you're wearing gloves at all, but if they are the flesh colored thing, it looks like you have some sort of like skin condition. I
mm-hmm.
I can't. And she does it for every program, and I hate it.
Ugh, poor Elena. Okay, let's move on to Mao Asada, surprising in seventh place here. And what I've been telling everybody about Mao is that she has the potential to win and the potential to be in sixth place. Little did I know she was actually going to be in seventh place because I said win or six to everybody. Seventh place.
Female Dennis 10.
Yeah. Where do you think she lost it at? The short or the long?
The short, she lost it. I mean, that short is one of my favorites of the year. I think it's absolutely stunning when it's done right. Just the footwork and when she like is given like the shoulders. Like I love that short program. And she's like given like the eyes too. Like oh no, I love you. That short program was a mess. And she did a gorgeous triple loop right before in the warm up. I don't know if you caught that.
I think
And
I
then in
did.
the long, and then not in the long, sorry, but then right when she started the program, it was
Well, what's funny,
downhill.
so she missed a triple axel in the short program, like stepped out of it, also called under
Mm-hmm.
rotated. I saw a lot of clean triple axels from Mao Asada in practice via other
A
people's fan cam
lot.
videos and in the warm up. So I'm not sure what happened when the music came on.
Neither neither do I because I saw so many like clean, beautiful, gorgeous triple axles from her in practice, and then I think she did a few on the warm up as well.
Yeah, and
So
then I think she
just
had the
lost it.
program laid out to have the triple axel clean, and hence she only did, was it triple flip double loop? And so with the triple axel under rotated and just doing a triple double instead of triple triple, her tech base value was so below everyone else's.
Yeah. You know what I was really thinking about Mao is why aren't we trying like a triple flip, triple toe with her so that she could still do the triple loop as the second jump? Why are we
Mhm.
going for like the triple flip, triple loop, and then if not, we're switching down to a double?
I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that.
I was wondering because I feel like we can capitalize on some points here and just immediately going down to a double is that's a big loss in
And even
points
like,
right
let's
there.
say if she can do a triple flip, triple loop, that's a risky combination with the loop as the second triple.
It always gets called under anyways. I think at
hmm
Cup of China it did.
Yeah.
So why aren't we trying like a toe or a sal? I mean, there's got to be some other option here
hmm And the other
for
unfortunate
her.
aspect about Mao is that her PCS isn't really propped up for kind of the legend that she is and her like skating history and her skating skills, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
She's brought
because
so
she
much to the
has.
sport. I would like to see her kept up to the top a little bit more.
I think that if Mao Asada has like a clean season, that they will give her the world title. Like even if she has some mistakes,
hmm
you know what I mean? Like I think it just depends on the season that she has, because Mao Asada totally had the potential to I think win here. it might not have been likely, but I could have seen if she was clean with everything that they would have given it to her. Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
like the long.
Oh, I see. So I like her short. I've said this before, I just want her to give a little bit more face. But besides that,
Mhm.
like neck down, I love how I think she sells the short with her body, kind of like
Mhm.
Satoko does with her short program.
Mhm. I hope she keeps it for next season.
That'd
Ditch
be
that
great.
long, but keep the short.
Sounds good. So we went through the top seven. Is there anyone else you want to mention of the ladies?
Yeah, Rika Hongo.
Hmm.
I really love that river dance program. She doesn't really have the most, Mao Asada-esque artistry that you like want to see in a skater, but she has a moment with that river dance. It's when she like stops in the center of the ice and she puts her hands on her hips and she does the little like step dancey
Hmm.
type thing. That's my favorite moment. And every time, even though I think about Jason Brown when I hear river dance, that to me is a good program for her. And she killed it here. I would have had her like maybe top five in the long, top six.
Hmm.
What did she place in the long?
In the long, let's see, I
Yeah.
have it here. Long, ooh. So eighth in the free skate, seventh after the short, eighth overall.
I wonder if she got like
She
dinged
had
on.
under rotations. I remember seeing her protocol.
Okay,
Hmm.
because I was gonna say if that
In the
was clean,
short
I
and
would
the
have
long.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually remember watching Rika Hongo during the river dance, and I remember thinking to myself, even though this could be skated better, I still really enjoy watching her. And I think she gives it in the face. Like maybe she looks tired in the body, but you could tell she's so happy, so that resonates with the audience, I felt like.
She enjoys the program. It's not like you're watching Dead Eyes
Yeah.
throughout of someone who's like hating their life. She actually likes doing it.
Very true. So, someone that I want to mention outside of the top seven that we discussed is my Canadian girl,
Girls,
Gabrielle Daleman. Yes, she
I
brought
knew you were gonna
it.
do
I know,
that.
right? How could I leave her out? So,
That's your
Gabby
girl.
Daleman, it was nice to see her put together finally a clean short program internationally. That's where Gabby struggles. And
Hmm.
she was really rewarded by the judges, given a 67. That was her season's best by like almost 10 points internationally. And the long program, I think she held it together as well. The only mistakes were two hand downs on triple jumps, and I didn't think that ruined it. I think she had a moment. It was really nice if you look at the overall standings. It's kind of like Russia, Japan, United States is kind of like leading the ladies circuit.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have Gabby break in the top 10 and add a mix to that. But I'd say I'm really excited for Gabby. I'm excited for what this could do to her career. She's still quite young. I think she just turned 18. Hopefully, this
Wow.
top nine finish propels her next season. She just needs to work on consistency, and I would add a second triple triple to the long program. But she did great, as well as we need to mention Mirai Nagasu, who was 10th overall. Hmm.
Oh, Mirai. Everyone in that building loves Mirai.
I
And
think
you can
she
tell.
got officially the loudest crowd reaction,
I
short
think
and
that
long.
Ashley's long was the loudest
Really?
crowd reaction.
Actually, so I think Ashley's long was louder during Mariah's entrance to her long was louder. That's what I
Okay.
remember. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Mirai did really good. I the triple triple, she's been I think at Four Continents they didn't call it under, did they? Even
Mm-mm.
though it was. But here I think they were right on that. Like that was under rotated. Though she's been I believe getting it around.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Is it it's a flip toe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's been getting that more around, but sadly it wasn't here.
that's true.
Um,
Thankfully, there was a little boost to her PCS, and I think rightfully so. She had a moment. The audience was behind her. I think she really sold the footwork in her short program. Like it almost looked like she was a little angry, but it's nice to
yeah,
get something out
focused
of you than like nothing, which I've seen from Mariah in the past. So I think Worlds was
a
a
lot
moment.
from Mariah in the past.
Yeah.
Yes. Who would you send her to next year for choreography? Because I want the girl to have like lots of transitions next year.
Without a doubt, an A-list choreographer. And I'm actually not picking on who exactly, but
Who?
don't have Adam Rippon. Maybe don't even have someone locally. Don't go to Tom Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
An A-lister. Jeffrey Buttle would do wonders. I'm not sure how available he is for competitors, but yeah, transitions. Maybe seek appropriate programs to get rewarded by the judges. And I think the
Yeah.
programs she chose this year are actually appropriate for her because she needs to find that love for skating again. And sometimes that means doing things for you, despite
Mhm.
what's going to be perceived well or not. And so she's gained that spark back. Now it's time to like be strategic and be a top contender in the world.
Yeah. I just think that Mirai has the potential to pass up Paulina. Like
Oh,
if
for sure.
Yeah, and I just need to see more transitions from her. There's like posing sections, and it's more noticeable to me. Even though I love Mirai, like don't shoot me. um, yeah, maybe like a Stefan Lambiel, like with
Oh, great.
Satoko.
Or
Yeah,
maybe even Philip Mills, because if he spends a lot of times with Max, maybe he's in Colorado and could work with Mirai on like a weekly basis as well.
yeah. I was gonna say like Rohin, but he's with Courier, so I don't think that like
No, probably
that
not.
would work.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like if that ever happened, like that would be a good program for her
Oh yeah.
because he's very good at transitions. But
Mhm.
yeah,
For sure. All right. Are we ready to move on to the men's?
yeah, just poor Elaine. That's all I want to
Chartrand.
say is
Oh,
poor Elaine. Yeah,
and
yeah.
me being a big Gabby fan, I expected
Hmm.
Elaine to be the top Canadian lady here.
Yeah. And when we met her, we noticed that she was kind of nervous.
Yeah, so everyone watching the video, we actually got a chance to meet some of the skaters at their hotel before the ladies' short program. We saw Elaine Chartrand, got photos with her. Something that I actually thought she looked like she was holding back tears. I'm wondering if something outside of skating is, bothering her, or if she feels a bunch of pressure being reigning Canadian champion to place
Yeah.
really well.
It was even just when we asked for a picture and she kind of looked startled,
Hmm
like really? Like you want a picture? Like that kind of
hmm
made me very worried going into the
You know
shorts.
what? I didn't say this, but it reminded me of like Gracie Gold. I'm afraid Elaine Chartrand, if she doesn't kind of fix this issue, because I actually think it's more mental than technical
Hmm.
for Elaine on the ice. If she doesn't fix some of these issues soon, she may be
Yeah.
the Canadian Gracie Gold. Up and down, up and down, up and
Yeah.
down.
Well, yeah, I've said that Elaine is really the third gold sister.
Hmm
And
Oh, you have said that.
yeah, not just in like she looks like she could be
hmm
the triplet to Gracie and Carly, but just in actual skating, I see that as well.
hmm For sure.
And I like her.
Me too.
I said, oh, and I like her. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Sorry.
let's see. No, no, it's okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Men's. Javier Fernandez had a moment defending his world title. Many people, including myself, did not believe it could happen. Wow, was that a long program skate? Wasn't that so good?
It really was. And that program has grown on me. Like, I didn't like it at the
Mhm.
beginning of the season, and I feel that way about a lot of Javier's programs. But I mean, here it was just like, it was a moment. It was one of the big moments here was watching that free skate because it was incredible.
Yeah,
Just
to have him hit everything so perfectly, because normally when he does three quad attempts, that last one doesn't go so well.
scary as hell. Yeah.
hmm And then sometimes towards the end of his programs, because he's doing three quads, he's kind of like winded and tired. The landings on some of his jumps kind of start to go sour. That wasn't the case. He was on, selling the choreography. If you look at his protocols, I have them printed out here in front of me. Lots of tens. Let's see here.
I don't know if I would have gone that
You know
high.
what? I'm not sure if I would have given him as many tens. So he averaged tens for interpretation and choreography. So that means tens from all judges minus two, which they're thrown out. Um, I will say I do agree with placing him PCS wise a little above Hanyu. Although his were a lot above Hanyu, but
In the long, you mean?
in the long only,
Yes.
yes. Because we know in the short that Javier was trailing Hanyu because of a fall.
Yes. When Javier lands a quad, it is stunning. Like it is one of the best quads in the business. Like it is just so massive. You can see it in person. He gets such distance on it. It
hmm
is just incredible. Like you watch it and you're like, that is +3. Like who cares about the bullet points and everything? It's like
Yeah.
that's a +3 jump every single time. And it's just magnificent to watch live. Like you should watch Javier live just to watch his jumps because he is one of those skaters that it's just gorgeous, gorgeous jumping.
Yeah, and you know his quads, they're like very powerful, but also like effortless.
They're
You know, it's weird.
athletic.
And when you see a quad in person, so you know there's some skaters where it's like, was that a quad, triple quad, or a triple? Javier, you know it's a quad. There's
Mhm.
no doubt about it.
It's huge, it's powerful, but yeah, I think that Javier's short is actually has grown on me as well. I do prefer last year's short though, the Black Betty, because anytime you have like the shimmy in a program, even a little bit, I'm gonna love it so much more. But yeah, I do like this short. I don't like it as much as
Okay.
last year's, but I do like it both programs quite a bit
Yeah, you know,
for him.
my history with Javier is that I usually love his short, and I'm not crazy about the long. He always goes with the like humoristic style, and it's kind of hokey pokey. And
Scott
I
Hamilton.
would like him to like retain a serious vibe to really showcase his core skating skills for like, you know, the 4.5 minutes of a long program. He seems to stick with this formula that he's had in the past. I get that it works for him. I personally would like to see, you know, a more serious long program from him.
Yeah, maybe not even just serious. Maybe something along the lines of like an Ashley Wagner, like sexy kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Because I
maybe
think
even
that Javier could
sexy.
do that really well.
Hmm.
He is. I mean, he's gorgeous. Like, come on,
Yeah.
he could bring that like fierce, sexy vibe
Hey,
very
could he skate
well.
to Moulin Rouge?
Oh my God, I would pay to see that. I would fly to Finland to see that next year.
Awesome, cool. And then second place finisher here, by surprise, I am let down because I kept telling everybody, even in the previous videos I made, I was like, no
Yeah.
question about it, Hanyu. Psh, he has a 3 mistake buffer. Well, little did I know that he was going to actually make those mistakes, and Javier was going to be perfect. But the stars
Yeah.
aligned for Javier to defend his world title, and Hanyu, you know, surprisingly got the silver medal. He didn't look too upset by it, though. I think he's had such a good season that it's kind of like
He
this is
peaked
one
there.
competition, you know?
Yeah. Do you want to start with the short first with Hanyu?
Sure.
Okay. So Hanyu short, I think, is gorgeous. Like absolutely stunning. It's one of my favorite Chopin pieces. To me, it's all about the spread eagle into and then out of. I want to say it's a
Oh,
quad.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Was it a quad or was it a triple axle here?
Quad.
It was a quad. Okay.
Hmm.
That to me is just it's such a like beautiful moment of choreography and yeah, I love it. And the footwork is amazing. When it like speeds up towards the end and he's just
Mm.
like matching it. I love that short program so much. And it was, I don't think it was quite as good as at the Grand Prix final. I think that
Hmm.
that was his best performance of this short. But I'm very surprised that he did not break his record here.
I was gonna
Like
say the
very
same
surprised.
thing. It came really close, so I was like, I'm surprised the judges didn't just give it to him.
Like a tenth of a point ish.
Hmm.
Very, very close. I'm very shocked. I think it was the right decision. I think that that Grand Prix final one was better than here, but I'm just shocked that they didn't do it.
Hmm. Absolutely. All right, and now
And
his
then
long.
for the long,
Mm.
yeah, that long program was the program that I would pray for every single day leading up to Worlds. Please, God, be clean.
And it
Because
wasn't.
performance of anything this year, and the fact that I was just like, please, I want to see it live clean, and it God, the first quad mistake, I screamed louder than anything. I was like, no!
Yeah, the hand
Why?
down. Oh, I actually knew it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be a perfect free skate from that opening quad because Yuzuru is such like a skater from out of this world. Like he's not even human sometimes, I feel like. And the fact that he started making mistakes, especially on the opening quad cell, I was like, oh, and this could get interesting. I actually knew that he was gonna like be second in the long. I didn't realize it would be enough to be second overall.
Yeah, I was very worried about that quad sal because even in practice, like days before, because I was at the practices on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
that quad sal was not there consistently. It was
Mm.
like I don't even know if I saw him land a clean one. It was scary, and I was very scared going into it. But if there's one thing you can bank on with Hanyu, it's how much of a warrior he is, and how much of a competitor he is, and how he can pull it out, kind of
Mm-hmm.
a thing. So even though I wasn't seeing it in practice, it was kind of like the opposite of Gracie Gold, where I was like, okay, maybe he can still pull it together when it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Gracie, when it's like she can be clean in practice, but you're like, oh,
Yeah. I wouldn't watch Gracie in practice just because I care
I don't know if
about
that's gonna.
what happens in competition. But
Exactly.
Hanyu had a long way to drop because he had a humongous leap over Javier in the short. So I just want to go over his technical errors so we're all refreshed. I have the
Go for
protocols
it.
in front of me. So
Mm.
opening quad sal, negative grade of execution. Next mistake I see is the fall on the quad sal, which should have been in combination. So he lost points for doing a triple after that. Next error is a triple axel, half loop, double sal. So another big, you
Yeah.
know, banger. And then he had some negative grade of executions on the Lets, and then his PCS were not perfect tens as we've gotten used to seeing from him in the past.
Yeah, and when you watch the end of that program, when he's clean, he's on and he's feeling it, there is so much fire in that very last part where he like pushes his arms out and he like
Yeah.
jumps into the choreographic step sequence. Here it was just like he was so tired. And you could just see it. The spin that was right before that choreographic
Mm-hmm.
step was slow, slow, slow. He was moving at it like a glacial pace, and you could tell that he was just, he knew that he had lost it, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not into it at all. And I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, when you skate like that, you're just praying to get off the ice. Like, come on, please, let's just be
Yeah.
over with. But it was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. So silver medal here at Worlds this season. I'd say overall a great season still. Probably didn't peak at the right time. Maybe you want to wait until Worlds to try to set a world record instead of, the Grand Prix
Do like a career
final.
best, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Hanyu is Hanyu, and he always seems to like pull tricks out of his hat and surprise us, sometimes in the negative and in a positive way. So you just never know with that one.
Isn't it crazy that Javier is now two-time world champion and Hanyu only has one?
It's crazy to think about, but Hanyu is the
Yeah,
reigning Olympic champion.
true.
I
And
always
that'll
think of
give
that.
him the PCS until the next Olympics,
For sure.
but that's still
Okay.
crazy to think about.
Shall we move on to your favorite male skater, Boyang Jin? Just kidding, he's not your favorite.
I'm gonna say I'm going to strangle you.
The only
Don't
thing
even kid.
the only thing that I can think of to say with Boyang Jin is he did enough. He did enough.
He did enough.
I mean, so everybody knows the story with this kid, like four quads.
Quad boy.
Doesn't have the best landings towards the end of his long programs. Artistry clearly isn't there. I think he was consistent enough with his tech to be in third overall. PCSs were clearly down there compared to the other men.
Well, as they should be. If he
Yeah.
was getting high PCS, I would have been very, very angry.
Just as a comparison, Boyang Jin for PCS and free program 76 versus let's take Anna Rippon who was 85. Big difference there.
Good, because they were really upping Jin. Is it Boyang Jin or Jin Boyang?
Either or.
Either like Chen Lu Chen, I don't know.
Yeah.
They were really upping his PCS throughout the season, and I was not on board with that decision at all. When you see him do a quad lutz clean live, though, it is something. It is massive. But other than that, it's like I can see through your tricks kind of thing. Like, okay, you're doing all kinds of quads, but where are your skating skills? And the lasso move. Why the lasso move in the long program? And he does it like with two...
To train a dragon. A little too literal.
No.
What's funny is that so artistry clearly isn't there. I have seen small improvements throughout the season. I want to see more improvements at the beginning of next season.
A lot more. And he's going to Frank.
Oh, that should be interesting.
So hopefully, like Frank fixes. All the Chinese are, right? Or something. I heard that, but yeah.
Crazy. All right, so that's Boyang Jin.
At the short, as we... Oh, did you hear me?
No.
Oh, I was just going to say, I said, I think that the short hides his weaknesses better than the long.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah, the long program to me is a lot of back and forth to quads. It's not a lot of, there's not as much choreography. The tango short hides it a bit more.
Hmm. For sure.
But that's all I wanted to say.
Let's talk about the fourth place finisher, the surprise Russian. Is it Mikhail Kolyada? Came out of
Yeah,
nowhere. I remember he was the second to skate in the long program and then stayed at the top of the standings forever. Like, where did
nuts.
this guy come from?
Yeah. Well, he skates very Russian. Uh,
He landed his
with the
jumps.
choreography, he landed them. Um, he placed in the top five, and no one had ever heard of him.
Yeah, I didn't even do my research. Do you know his skating history? Is he like a world junior medalist or?
Oh, I have no idea. I had never heard of this kid until like watching him in the long program, and
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
how did you make the final group?
Well, he impressed me in the short just because, he was in like the first group and so he stood out.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't there for the first group though,
oh, that's
the
right.
men's short.
I
So that's why I
was
was like, how the hell did this kid get into
I
the long program?
I'm kind of angry at him, although it's not his fault. But I
Mm-hmm.
was expecting him to make mistakes in the long so that the US could retain three spots for Worlds next year. And we were so close. But
No.
yeah, before we move on, anything you wanted to say about his skating?
No,
No?
just like that I told you though that it was like we were so close to getting it, but it was so not meant to be that something just had to come down from above and like screw us up out of getting it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who is this Russian kid? And now we don't have three spots because of him.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I don't think it's our American men's fault for not getting
No,
three spots. They
no, no, no,
skated
no,
the best they could, and we were already
definitely.
given like a few bones, like because
Quite a
some of the
few.
top men were brought down. Just the stars couldn't align that much for Boston, but we were close. Let's see, fifth
Very
place
close.
finisher, Patrick Chan. There's a lot to discuss with him.
So watching Patrick live, I don't even care about watching him jump. I just want to watch Patrick stroke around the ring because his skating skills and his edges deep and pure and gorgeous. Like I don't even care about watching him jump, just stroke. And that's good enough for me. I'm so angry that he can't put together a clean short. Like what is happening here? And I love that short program. I know many people who hate it. I think it's
I like
magnificent,
it.
personally. Yeah. I feel like Jazzy works really well with his skating style and the edges. There's something about a jazzy Michael Bublé kind of thing that works. I don't know. Do you think so, or is that just me?
I no, I think it works for him, and I think it's
Yeah,
a nice contrast to his free skate.
very much so. The free skate took a while to grow on me too because it's a little slow and I don't know. It was kind of boring at first, but now I'm into it with like the arm
Oh, I
movement that he
see.
does.
I I
Yeah.
think his long program really shines and showcases his raw talent a little better. Hmm.
Now I see that,
Yeah.
but towards the beginning, I was like, okay, this is kind of boring.
Hmm. So short program, fall on the triple axel. Still given a little bit of chanflation, in my opinion, for the
So
PCS,
Canadian.
but
Hmm.
kept him in third after the short, lost it after the long. Before we go into the details, I don't want to forget. I thought it was very poor sportsmanship of what Patrick Chan said when he got off the ice. Did you catch that?
About the rut-filled ice conditions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Granted, if it
That's
were
Patrick.
true or not, I guess I don't.
Yeah.
I've never followed Patrick's career that closely,
Hmm.
but now that I am, I'm like, who is this guy making these remarks? In a kiss and cry, like on camera, on television.
Hmm.
I mean, like, why don't you ask Javier Fernandez what he thought about the ice? I mean, and as a skater, you should be trained to skate in all conditions. You know.
Definitely.
Um,
And
and it makes it sound like Patrick doesn't want to blame himself when I think that's his biggest competitor.
mhm,
It's like the mind games for him to like land these jumps because he has to be technically perfect because he doesn't do the three quads in the free or two in the short.
I know. I did see though that he's going to start working on quad salchows this summer.
Hmm.
So hopefully he can add that. But when you're there and you're watching Worlds, see that when the Zamboni guys out, and I'm not sure if they were doing this throughout the competition, but I know that in the practice they would have like this lady come out with a clipboard and she
Yeah.
was like marking where the field ice conditions were. So to blame it on that, I mean, it couldn't be that bad if they were really taking that much care and precaution to try and not make the ice that terrible for the skaters. I mean, I felt like there was being a lot of work being done to like ensure that the ice was as good as it could possibly be for you as a skater. And when you're a skater, you're going to skate on terrible ice. It's like you just got to deal with it. And to blame it on that is just kind of making excuses.
And maybe the ice was a result of just being the last skater. And in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
if you know you're going to skate last, prepare for it. I remember looking at the ice when Ashley Wagner took the ice, and I thought it looked rough. But hey, she pulled it out.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? When I read Tessa and Scott's book,
Mm-hmm.
they talked about when they first went to Marina Zueva and Igor, because they were still coaching together, that they would like flood the ice and they would make the ice in these terrible conditions and stuff so that they were prepared and that they would learn to skate on any kind of ice. Anything that would come their way, they would be prepared for it and they would be ready. And that's what a senior skater should be and should have, is that level of preparation and that maturity and that, I guess, skill in order to train on anything. Because ice isn't going to be perfect every time you go out there. It's just not.
Especially at Worlds, where it could be in like a third world country,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anything else about Patrick before we move on?
I was worried that he was going to retire after this because
Mm-hmm.
he said that it was all going to come down to this. But the fact that he's working on quad sows this summer makes me think that he's going to continue. I mean, why would you work on quad sows for any other reason? So hopefully he sticks around because I think that he has so much to offer the sport just in terms of edges and the skating skills and the quality that can be missing. Like even if he's not on the podium, just watching him skate is
Mm-hmm.
so magnificent that I hope he
I
sticks
would like
around.
to see him continue. He's not my favorite skater. I can acknowledge his talent, but I think he
Exactly.
adds something interesting to the mix. Even if he's not at the top, he kind of makes that fight for the bronze medal interesting with all of these upcoming guys as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so
Shoma?
shall we talk about? Oh, no, no, no.
Oh,
Sixth place was Adam Rippon, reigning
yeah.
U.S. men's champion. Had his moment here, short and long. Long was, spectacular. Went for the
Mhm.
quadlets attempt and just got an under rotation call. But, landing still kind of looked good, like posture and whatnot. What did you take of his skates here?
Yeah, I was on the opposite end of the ice for the quadlets, but
Mm.
even from where I thought it was under rotated.
Oh,
Like it
it
was
clearly
that.
was. I
I'm
was in front
surprised he
of it
didn't
and I
get
was
a
like,
double carrot.
yeah, when I saw it, I actually thought it would have been a downgrade. But I'm happy
Yeah.
that it wasn't for his sake.
Yeah. To me, it looked like it was a double carrot, and he didn't
Hmm.
get that. So, yay, Adam. But I would have probably been the mean judge giving him that.
Yeah.
um, the program works. He's attacking the triple axles more when he goes into them,
Hmm.
if
I'm
you
still
notice.
scared when he
So
goes into them, though. But hey, if he lands them, I'll take it.
so am I. But he's approaching them like he's going to land them more
Hmm.
than, because sometimes you can't just go into a jump and kind of like be scared because it's never going to happen. You have to really attack it, and he's been attacking it more than from what I've seen in the past. And that might be some of the reason why he's been getting more consistent with them.
Hmm.
I don't
The,
think they're 100%, but
yeah, the biggest takeaway I took from Adam Rippon this last week was he had a moment of feeling the music. I think now it's all about adding in the appropriate elements, the difficulty. I always say like I want there to be like someone with like Max's jumping ability and like Adam's artistry and like musicality, and that would be boom, our U.S. man that could fight for the podium at Worlds. But
I think
I'm
that
hopeful for the future.
Adam and the yeah, so am I. I think that he can skate slow in the footwork. He kind of has that Ashley problem where towards the end it's
Hmm.
like he's really slowing down a bit. I want him to skate faster and get deeper edges. Um, I mean, he doesn't have the worst edges ever. Okay, we saw some skaters there that Gary improved. What do you think of the costume?
It was a lot of sparkle in person. I don't think I've said this before, so I was saying with a lot of people sitting around me in the arena, whoa, sparkles come out like 10 times more intense in person than on like a video. So
The
I
short or the long?
both, especially the short. I was like, new
Yeah.
costume from Adam? Huh?
Hmm.
Oh nope, just same ones, just extra sparkles. They're very Adam-esque. And I'd say with that man I talked about that's in between Max and Adam, or a mesh of those two, I also see a balance between the costume because if we talk about Max Aaron, I think his costumes are too plain, and then Adam's maybe a tad bit out there, which works for him. But I would like to see a mesh of both Adam and Max in most ways, including costume.
Yeah, definitely. I do like Adam's shirt in the long better than what he had before with that vibrant, bright red. If you remember earlier in the
Ooh,
season,
I do. I like this
this
better.
was better. This was better. Improvements.
All right, so moving on from Adam, great job with the sixth place finish. Shoma Uno.
I have been waiting.
Oh, why are you waiting? Because I love his skating, but it's sad with the mistakes he made.
I know, I know.
Oh,
But gee, for Shoma. And you came with me to throw my cucumber.
yes, in the short program. That was awesome.
I know.
So Shoma Uno, I have him sixth in the long. Um, yeah, that wasn't, he
Scared.
didn't have a good skate, short or long. And it's
The
unfortunate
short
because he's
wasn't
one of
that
my
bad.
favorite skaters.
Oh,
I guess the short wasn't that bad. That's true. I just wanted I wanted him to pull out a triple triple for the points.
yeah, and he never makes that mistake. Like that's a weird Shoma Uno mistake in the short. Like
Hmm.
usually I would expect him to mess up the quad in the short. But you love that short program, correct?
I do, and you love his long program.
I love his long program so much. He gives it. Like when he skates with such intensity and like he really just connects with you. Like he will look you in the eyes in the audience and just like really like try and bring you in. And I think that it really works. He's the next star of Japan, and I think that once Hanyu retires, he's going to be huge because he just has that.
And we keep forgetting this is his first year on the senior ranks for the full season. He deserves
First,
a break. I think he's too hard on himself. He's not happy in the kiss and cry.
okay, so his mistakes here, he tripped double in the short and then he fell on a quad in the long. That is not that bad for your
Mm-mm.
first ever senior world. And he acted like he just totally blew it, and I don't think it was that bad. Like calm down, like
Yeah.
like have an ice and just chill.
Yeah, and I think what set him back is that on his fall on the quad, it was supposed to be a quad triple. So, missed out on what, seven-ish
That's true.
points there. So it's really not that bad.
Yeah, they backloaded the program. I don't know if you noticed, but
I
they
did.
completely changed around the program. From what I have heard about practice reports was that his run throughs, none of them were clean with this program layout. So I don't know why they wouldn't switch it back. Because this program layout, I think, since he switched, might have had something to do with the falls. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not entirely sure. But I mean, if you're having that much problem with it in practice, where you can't even do a clean run through of it, then I don't know how you think that you're going to pull it out when you get to competition.
Mm.
I mean, he did two gorgeous triple axels after that fall,
Oh, yeah. And
but
sometimes that's a
still,
difficult thing to do.
gorgeous.
Two triple axles back to back, second half of your program after falling on a quad. Like, he's the next Hanyu, in my
Quad
opinion.
fall hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that
Because
was a
he got
bad
up and
fall,
he kind of
too.
grabbed his stomach
Yeah.
almost like it knocked the wind out of him, like, and he kind of hit his head and it looked terrible,
Mm-hmm.
like scary. But
Definitely. All right, so Shoma was seventh.
he is the next Hanyu.
Is there another skater you want to talk about? Yeah, Dennis. Ooh, do we want to talk about Dennis?
I was just mentioning that
Dennis in 11th overall, but 12th in both
to
segments.
you.
Hmm. He looked lost in that long program. That's all I'll say.
Dennis. I don't even know what to say about Dennis. I'm so
I
glad that
think I'm even too
I didn't
afraid.
catch it.
I think I'm too afraid to rewatch it on YouTube because in person it just looked like he like skipped one jump, forgot choreography. It looked like he was just stroking for practice out there, which is not a good thing to look like. when you're in your long program. I did want to give a shout out to Grant for doing so well
Yeah.
in the free skate.
Hmm.
Didn't do as well in the short program. He was 16th after that segment, falling on the quad, but had a moment in that free program, including a a quad jump. So good for him.
And congrats on his engagement too.
Woohoo!
I know, to
Congratulations.
Caroline. But yeah, Dennis. One thing I want to say though is that short program music is intense.
Mm.
When it comes on, it is like a jarring kind of thing. I
I
miss
kind of
the.
like that it's intense.
Oh, I like it too. It's just
Yeah.
very jarring.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was on right before it? Who did he skate right after in the
Can't
short? I don't
remember.
remember. But it was a lot lighter of music, and you hear that, and it's kind of like shocking.
Yeah.
I miss his long program last year that had the dancey with the arms.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would go back to that, but
I think Dennis overall, like from season to season, you can expect him to have quality programs.
very much so. He is an artist skater to a T. Like the inconsistency, even like everything about him screams artist skater.
For sure, a true artist.
Paint by numbers.
Yes. So I'm looking at our video now, Nicole, and we're at like an hour and 23 minutes. Holy crap. So let's go into the pairs.
Pairs, yes.
Sorry if this is going to be the shortest segment to our viewers, and sorry if pairs is your favorite, but I'm not mad at how things are working out this way because I was actually kind of a little underwhelmed with how pairs turned out to be. And don't get me wrong, I was actually very excited for pairs. Some overall themes before we start talking about the individual skaters. I feel like an idiot. I kept telling everybody, 3 spots, we can do 3 spots for the US. It's going to be close. And then the short and the long,
I
my
told you I was like,
my head. The potential was there, you have to admit. But
yes.
man. And I just noticed this today. I think I texted you. I was like, all 3 Canadian pairs skated better than all Americans. So maybe we don't need to talk about
Yeah.
them individually. Why don't you kick it off with Megan and Eric?
With Megan and Eric. Okay. So their short program is still a good short program. And I think that their programs this year are the best programs that they have ever had, both the short and the long, and
It
just
suits
combined
them so well.
so well. They're starting to find their style and it works. I do not like the fact that they changed around the short program because now, before, they used to do the throw right at the end, right at like the Christians, just they're kind of skating around through it. And that kind of makes me sad, but I do like the short a lot. That long program, I knew from the time that they first skated it at whatever little summer event that was, that if that was clean, it could be a massive moment in Boston because it's hometown glory and it works. And it definitely was a moment here, and I think it was the best long program that we saw of the entire pair event.
For sure, they deserved to win the
To
gold
win.
medal, even though they
Absolutely.
were not the favorites. They were actually
No.
second in the short program, so they were able to move up, mainly because Sui and Han did not perform their best. And the judges, you and I talked about this, the judges were ready to give the title to Sui and Han of China.
Yeah.
It just didn't go well for them. And they could have
They're
had it because their PCS was slightly above Megan and Eric's in the long.
I would have had their PCS. Um, oh, in the
In the long.
long, you mean?
Hmm.
In the long. Okay. Okay. So in the magnificent, it is spellbinding watching it. It is just regal quality for Swanhan. I'm talking about. They were ready to give it to them, and they fell on that quad salad, and then she doubled. I want to say on the side by
She did.
side
Sow
Sal's.
cow.
Was it
Hmm.
Sal's? Yeah, she doubled, and I don't like that long program as much. To me, it takes too long to get to that really exciting part of Samson and Delilah. They use the slow section for way too long in the long
I
program, and
agree
I'm
with you.
waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for that like exciting like Marilyn Charlie 2009 when it gets like it starts to go or Ashley Wagner's
Yes.
yeah, that part where it starts to really just get excited. They take too long for that, but they are going to be world champions. Like I see it so clearly in my head, and I could see them as Olympic champions.
Oh, and I think they're waiting, not that they purposely, made these mistakes, but I think their
Mhm.
goal is to peak at Olympics.
And I can definitely see that. They have everything. I think that out of every pair that we saw, I think that they are the total package.
Oh, most definitely. And maybe
They're
even
just that.
I kind of want to say I think they're already the favorites going into the Olympic championships, even though we're 2 years off. So things can change in the next 2 years, but I think right now everyone's
Definitely.
talking about Sui and Han, Sui and Han, Sui and Han.
Yeah, they're just I can see people going nuts for them because they have an X factor to them. They're regal out there on the
Yeah,
ice.
you know what? They're like very technically powerful, and like they're like such artists in their own way. They're very different from all of the other Chinese pair teams, even like the legendary Chinese pairs
Hmm.
teams. They're very different, and I love that about them.
Yeah, I think that she's going to go down as one of the pair girls of all time, like in the
Hmm.
Katya Gordieva kind of thing. It's the way she lands the throws with the legs so high and just everything about her. I read somewhere that she doesn't have like any ligaments in her ankles or something. She's had so much injuries, and the fact that she's able to go out there and land any quad throws at all is
Wow.
just wonderful. And I bow down to you,
Me
Queen.
too. Yes, the
Yeah.
new pairs queen. Let's talk about the bronze medal winners here, Aliona and Bruno from Germany.
Hmm.
What's your take on them?
Okay, so I brought to the event, as you know him, and he had to say that he thought that they were the best ones, Aliona and Bruno, out of what he saw. And to me, that says a lot when you see so many lower level skaters and you're able to pick the top one out that quickly, and they've only been together for a year.
Hmm.
And yet they're that far and above the rest of the field that someone who knows nothing about skating at all is able to pick it out that easily and that quickly. They were killing it on the warm up beforehand. She has such star quality and confidence, and I knew that she was going to just nail that short program because she is that good.
Hmm. I knew they were going to be great, but it's kind of surprising to see them beat all of the Russian pairs.
Well, the Russian pairs kind of gave it to him.
You think so? Made mistakes on purpose or not on purpose?
Oh yeah, they were giving it to them. Like, here's a present for you.
Here you go. We got you next year. You got this year. No.
I know. I know, really. We take the Olympics. You can take this World Championships.
Yeah. Do you
Oh.
prefer the Germans to any of the Russian pairs?
Aliona, yeah. I love her. Their short program is a lot of fun. I hated their long program. Like,
Hmm.
I hated that long program so
Oh,
much. She looked gorgeous. The bodysuit, like, please never stop wearing that. I'm so jealous. I wish I could look like that in a bodysuit, but she's just gorgeous. And the short is a lot of fun. The long, they need better material because that long program is unforgivably bad.
hmm. Do you think they'll come back even stronger next season?
I have no reason to believe that they wouldn't.
Hmm.
They've only been together like what, 2 years, and this is their first
If
Worlds.
that, yeah.
Yeah, to put it in comparison, that's like the same amount of time that um, Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael have been together. That's the same amount of time that Dylan and Luba have been together. Same amount of time that Marissa and Mervin have been together, and yet they're this far ahead in that short amount of time.
They're on the right track for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after the
And
Germans, oh, go ahead.
it's all about her, and it's all about I don't watch him at all. I just watch her.
He's attractive, but you just look at Aliona
Because she's a star.
for sure. So after the Germans, we have a string of three Russian pairs, then some Canadians. Is there anything you just wanted to say about any of them?
Very sad that Julianne and Charlie are not here because
Oh,
they are my favorite pair.
that's one of my main thoughts too. They're actually one of my favorite pairs worldwide,
In general,
probably
too.
behind Sui and Han.
That's exactly my thought. Is they're my number two after Sway and Han. I'm so sad that they're not here. I thought that Dylan and Kirsten. Is it Kirsten or Kirsten?
Kirsten?
Kirsten. Okay, I always mess that up.
Oh, me
Kirsten.
too.
I think that they both did well. I'm very worried about. I want to say Kirsten making the next Olympic team.
I think so too. Dylan and Lubov surprised me. Like when Lubov lands her jumps, like their skating in my eyes gets like 10 times better.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I always worry that she's never going to land anything,
Hmm.
but
Right?
and the programs need to be better. I the long kind of bores a bit.
Yeah, I think even with Julian and Charlie not here, it's clear that Julian and Charlie are the second ranked Canadian pair. I was really hoping to hear the short program na 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 na
Yes.
live. Sad that I didn't get to see that. I wouldn't mind if they kept that for next season.
And they no, me neither. And they get really good push from their edges and stuff. Even
Hmm.
at the start of that program, they're able to go that quickly, which always impresses me. Do you think that they will be able to overtake Megan and Eric? Not at this point in time, I don't think, because but ever.
Eventually, eventually. I see with Megan and Eric is peaking at the Olympics and then retiring shortly after, or if they start to kind of do a like downward trajectory. I see Julian and Charlie going upwards. So,
Mm-hmm.
eventually I think it'd be exciting to see where they meet in the middle and like it's a close call for
Yeah.
Canadians at nationals, at their
Mm-hmm.
nationals. But I think they're for sure the future over Kirsten or Dylan with their new partners.
That to me was the biggest like upset of the post Olympic splits was Kirsten and Dylan. Like
Oh,
I don't think that ever should have happened
no, and I
ever.
think Kirsten and Dylan could have eventually overtaken Megan and Eric.
Yeah, I mean they almost had a world medal that year. They were fourth or fifth,
I
something
think
like
fourth,
that.
yeah.
Fourth, and that to me was just such a waste that they split. But one thing I want to mention about Megan Duhamel is that her air position is really starting to bug me. She has such
And not just on the
a like
quad
wrap
sow.
going on. No, it's on everything
Yeah.
that she has that air position that I just can't stand. But as soon as she fixes that, I will be very much pro her. She looks so strong in person, like
She's like all
muscles on
muscles.
muscles.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
it's just even looking at her back, like bless. I want to look like her.
I didn't know it was possible to just be mostly muscles. I'm like, I have fat in places, so
Yes,
I'm just used to it.
she has muscles like in places where it's like you could have muscles there. Like really, that's like a thing. I didn't know this, Megan. Like teaching me
Yeah,
all these things.
crazy. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be interesting to see how pairs is next season. But the pairs segment at World, it was a little bit of a letdown for me. Not
The
gonna lie.
Russians were underwhelming.
Yeah, for sure. Let's end this call by talking about our moments at
Okay.
Boston.
Oh,
Um,
you didn't talk about your American pairs though. Do you want to talk about that, or
oh,
are
oh,
you
I,
good?
I purposely left them out.
Okay, I was just making sure you didn't forget.
Okay, the one thing I did want to say is like, if we're consistent, both pairs, we can continue to rise in the ranks until we
Okay.
get those jumps down. We're gonna kind of be stuck at where we are.
Mm-hmm. I know, but
Yeah. But
praying
anyways,
for Sin Merc next year
yes,
season.
going from, sad thought to happy thought.
Yeah.
Did you have any special moments at Worlds and Boston's, either during the competition, in skating, or outside of skating?
Oh man, I have so many. Worlds was just such a fantastic week. For me, it was Ashley Wagner's long program. That was one of the best moments of the entire thing. It was getting to hang out with you
Oh,
and
for
like,
sure.
yeah, and like everything that we got to do together, going to the Marriott Copley, okay, for my lesson there. And to meet all the skaters, that was definitely up there. Meeting Tessa and Scott and stalking them out during the short dance,
Yeah.
and that to me was one of the biggest moments. Yeah, just I had so many fun times in Boston, getting to meet like people, meeting Gabriella Papadakis.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you got pictures? Yeah. So for everyone watching this video, if you didn't know, we were able to find out where the skaters were staying. So before the lady short program,
Stalkers.
yeah, we just went to the lobby, and at the perfect timing, there was like different shuttle buses coming and going. So we saw skaters leaving and coming and leaving, coming from practice or going to
Yeah.
compete. I couldn't believe how many great skaters we saw in like what, that hour and a half that we were in the lobby. Like even like Nathan Chen and Tyler Pierce. Oh.
Nathan Chen, Tyler Pierce, Kurt Browning, Papadakis,
I
who
saw
else?
Madison
Anna
Chock back
Luca.
there. I
Hmm.
went back to actually go shopping, and then like it was right as like the shuttle buses were dropping everyone off from exhibition, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the lobby, and I saw like everybody come up. I didn't want to get pictures with everyone because I'd be so overwhelmed talking to so many great skaters at once. But
Hmm.
Madison Chock was kind of like slower than the pack, so I kind of like caught her and got a
Yeah.
photo, so that was great. I'd say my moment, Ashley Wagner long program, that setup was made for television. I mean, last to
Hmm.
skate, her chance to end the drought.
Of the
Um,
entire world.
yes, Javier's long program was amazing. And then I'd just say the experience as a whole, engaging with fans, meeting you, hanging out with people. I think I told everyone this story. I was at Nationals in 2014 in Boston, same arena. It was before I was big on making these videos and tweeting, so I didn't really know
Hmm.
anyone or meet anyone. I was there alone. I said hi to some people from
Yeah.
Twitter, but this time I actually really got to hang out with everybody, and get to know people and meet skaters. And it was great to hang out with you for most of the week. It was just an experience I'll never forget. Honestly, I'm so glad I went to Boston.
I know. So am I. Even just seeing Ashley live, that's worth everything, was getting to see that long program live. It's one of those, as I was tweeting you, I said, I'm jealous today that I wasn't able to see like Michelle Kwan live. But I
Mm-hmm,
think that like even just doing her Salome at Worlds or something like that. And I think that in 10 years from now, people are going to be really jealous that they weren't able to be at Worlds this time to see Ashley Wagner live. And yet we were there to see that. So we're really lucky.
mm-hmm. We witnessed history.
We did. It was a huge moment.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you again so much for being part of my video. I couldn't have done this without you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and everyone, thank you for watching. I will say I'm not sure. I told you this. I will be at the Team Challenge Cup last minute spur of the moment decision. So I'll have a recap video for that competition as well with another guest. So everyone, come back to my channel and watch that video. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.